All right, everybody, you are watching Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube. This is a live show, a broadcast tonight. This is Sunday, December 7th, 2025. We do have a lot of things coming up this coming week, including major immigration pushes across the United States of America. You'll see that the title for this video is discussing that very thing. There's a lot of people saying that, hey, how are you, Desmond? There's a lot of people saying that the Somali takeover is going to be story number one. The immigration enforcement for what's going on with the illegal immigrants from other countries is going to be number two. And we're going to see a major change up here in the USA in which they call for new powers against reported tourism using chemical weapons. Now, what Hexeth is about to do and what our politicians are about to do is make it so that anybody who has a substance that has the capacity to kill more than 3 people, that will be labeled a chemical weapon or a weapon of larger destruction. This is putting us in a little bit of a gray area inside of the USA because they might start using these to get around current rights of the American people, because if they can say that, hey, you have a weapon of mass destruction, or hey, you have a chemical weapon because some kid got caught with some fentanyl or whatever it might have been, they're going to basically take away the rights of the American people with that. It's a little bit concerning. We're definitely watching here, folks, so I hope that you guys are watching as well. We do need some cleanup here in the United States of America. I do know that we have a huge refugee problem. We have an asylum problem. We have a fraud problem. We have a corruption problem. We have a government problem. We have a political problem. We have an evil corporations problem. We have an inflation problem. Where's the good times? The good times haven't rolled for quite some time, folks. So what we're doing here on this channel, Full Spectrum Survival, is we are working very hard to make sure that everybody is aware, that your family members are aware, they kind of know what's going on in the near future. We're going to get to some live viewer call-ins here in just a couple of minutes, but I do want to cover some of the events that are happening out there, including this threat to America. And I want you to listen close.
Biggest fear in life is that this man may never witness our full takeover. Yes, he may never witness that. He already witnessed our partial takeover, our little success in America. And he is the reason, actually, I know that the community in America is thriving. He is how I know. It's like, he's how we measure our progress. If he doesn't tweet, somebody messed up. I know it. Somebody.
What you're watching right here is a Somali activist. And what this activist is saying is that Donald Trump and the current people of the United States of America have only witnessed what he calls a partial takeover. Now, the game plan of certain sectarian or religious belief systems was not to come to America. They saw that threat under vests that contain kinetic projectiles wasn't going to work here, because you have a well-armed populace that was very quick to look at everybody who looks different and say, hey, that person might need a few extra holes in them. So instead, they said, well, we're going to do it through politics. And in just the last 6 months, we have seen massive amounts of political positions being handed over into potentially dangerous hands. People with ties to these other countries that are more affiliated with these other countries than they have any love for the United States of America. So just like 10, 20 years ago, you saw the USA and our politicians giving away your work to offshore companies. They basically sold out the entire country. Well, now you're seeing them sell out the inside of the country. The political positions are being sold to non-nationals or nationals that are coming into this country with the only goal is to bring their culture and erase the American one. So a lot of really, really concerning things happening there, including this video that we just talked about.
Okay then. All right, let's do this, shall we? let's talk about your racism, shall we? Because I've had enough of hearing the word racist and racism. Because whenever you get a celebrity in a Prada dress and a Gucci handbag banging on about racism, they are the ones joining with a cultish, fascistic, sensorial word being used to create a force field around people who really do horrible things. The word racist has become a tool of oppression by the elites to silence other people into not complaining about left-wing policies. The word racism is the...
Now, what she just said right there, that this word became the power of a political left or certain political ideologies to call anybody who calls out the scum for being scum. Like, hey, we've got these people who are fraudulently taking away from tax money. And everyone's like, oh, no, you can't do that. That's the big R. That's arcist. Oh, we've got these people who are 9-time violent offenders out here beating women on the streets. Oh, wait, hold on a second. We can't say that that's just because they are here illegally from another country. That's arcist. And so they've labeled this, they've used this word as a tool of weaponization to make sure that the victims of crime, the victims of American tax fraud, the victims of our culture being completely erased. And I'm talking Italian American culture, Mexican American culture, redneck American culture, thug American culture. All of the people who they're bringing in want all of those, whatever it is, American cultures completely erased from this country. And anytime you balk against the bad things that are happening, what do they do out there? Well, you're an arcist. And so you can't say those things.
Same word that enabled Pakistani men to groom 250,000 white girls, dehumanize them, sexually assault them, abuse them, rape them, do some of the most awful things to innocent little girls that are imaginable. They knew they could hide behind this celebrated word of race.
She obviously is probably not going to be in her position for much longer for speaking her truth. This was a car ramming attack. Now, I told everyone on this channel to please watch out. The next couple of weeks are going to be really hairy because cultural change is happening so fast and it has a violent driver behind the wheel that you are going to see Christmas lighting ceremonies being attacked. And then what happened? We started seeing it. I told you that you were going to start seeing tree lighting ceremonies attacked. What happened? We started seeing it. And then right here, right behind me, this is at a Christmas market. This happened in Guadeloupe, France. The suspect, they said they wouldn't confirm him, even though he was detained at the scene, ramming his vehicle through people in a Christmas market. Culture erasure.
Based on what we have found so far, we believe that the Somali fraud operation in Minnesota is the single greatest theft of taxpayer dollars through welfare fraud in American history. We believe that we have only scratched the very top of the surface of how deep this goes. And you're familiar with all the scams with pretending that children have autism who are not in fact autistic, with pretending to enroll people in food programs when in fact nobody was ever enrolled, and engaging in massive fraud, lying, and theft and grift on a scale we've never seen before in American history. The total bill, the total tab for this is going to be far beyond the numbers we've already seen reported. We believe the state government is fully complicit in this scheme. And we believe that what we are going to uncover is going to shock the American people. Look, based on the records that we already have, this is a significant undercount, by the way. 75% of the Somali population in Minnesota is on welfare. But that's likely a significant undercount of just how much of a financial burden the Somali refugee population is imposing on this country.
So 75% or 80% of all the group members from this area seeking asylum or refugee status inside of the USA are burdens on the American taxpayer, not providing to the American country. But what they are providing is a vote. And that's exactly what the political leaders wanted. Come over into this country. We're going to give you whatever you want. Screw the people that are here already. They're already slaves. They're used to and willing to work 7 days a week, 2 different jobs, pay their taxes, ever increasing inflation. They're used to it. We've already pulled the wool over them. It's fine. We're going to bring you in here, and all you have to do is don't, assault too many women. Okay. Some, that's your cultural indifference. Okay. Not too many women. You can get all the free food you want. Actually, we'll put you up in housing. No problem. Oh, you need a little extra money? We got a cell phone for you. We got a free car. Don't worry about it. Then there's help programs. USAID, they'll get you taken care of. All you have to do is vote. And then make cultural change. So definitely some craziness happening out there, folks. It's happening not just in Minnesota, not just in New York, not just in Michigan. It's happening in Texas. Have you seen all of the sectarian belief buildings rising up in Texas? Absolute wild times.
They wanted us to try.
This is a gem, a real freaking gem. I remember reporting on this as soon as it came out. I think it was a couple of years ago. And this is a woman who was out here working for the Social Security system that would work to get people on benefits. And she says that they were told in no uncertain terms to label newly arrived illegal immigrants as long-term disabled people. Because as soon as you get classified as a long-term disabled, you're on it for life.
Try to identify them in such a way that they would qualify for long-term Social Security disability. Now,
what?
Yeah. And long-term Social Security disability is for life.
Yeah.
So if they get identified and qualify for long-term Social Security disability, they are as good as set up for life for medical treatment.
That doesn't sound like a refugee to me. Just being honest.
Yeah.
That sounds like somebody who's planning on staying here.
Yeah,
a refugee
right.
stays until the problem's over and then goes home.
Well, that's right. And so they instructed us to try to identify, to try to get the client, because once they arrive here, they're now called clients.
They're called clients.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because clients pay.
Sure.
See?
Sure. I'm starting to
so,
see where this is leading here.
So they told us that we needed to talk to the client and ask them if they'd had any headaches, recurring headaches, or any lower back problems. Excuse me, anything that would qualify them for Social Security long-term disability.
Wait.
And you can kind of see a part of the scam there, right? So if an American citizen tries to get on disability because they have a long-term problem, maybe they're disabled, maybe they're bedridden, maybe they have lung issues, maybe it's because of the places they work, the conditions that they've worked through, whatever it is. They fight tooth and nail to make it so that the American citizen cannot benefit. But these places instructed this.
Lord,
hey, how are you? You're the first caller in tonight. This is Full Spectrum Survival here on YouTube. How are you doing?
These places instructed this.
I guess they weren't ready for that. All I got to hear was myself. So we did open up the phone lines, folks. So if you are standing by a phone, you'd like to call in and kind of give us your take on things that are happening around the country and around the world, we'd love to hear it.
Wait. So let me get this straight. Part of the screening is supposed to be, are you sick, maimed, injured, whatever?
Right.
No. Okay, good, you can come in.
Yeah.
You get on the airplane, are you sick, maimed, injured, whatever? Yes.
You're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Terrible. How about you?
Well, I'm better than terrible, so I can't complain too much. What area of the country are you calling in from?
Hot Springs, Arkansas, but I fought behind enemy lines in Springfield, Illinois for the last 12 years.
Oh, Illinois. Things have gotten a little bit rough in Illinois.
Yeah, it's imploding. And one of the things I'd like to bring up about, and it's not talked about enough, is the NSL-4A.
Okay, tell us more.
National Security Leaders for America. There's 715 of top all military branches the NSA, CIA, and about 3 months before the election last November, I started noticing retired brigadier generals coming out on CNN, and occasionally, but more and more, they were talking about being members of the NSL-4A.
Okay.
And one of the generals, I looked up and saw that he was a CEO of a environmentally friendly power generation systems company based out of China. And so I started looking more, and I wanted to know who's on that list. And I looked, and it's all branches of the military. And I went down the whole list, and son of a gun, Hillary's on that list.
Okay.
But every time they came out, it's prestigious. It's National Security Leaders for America. And I looked, I'm like, how old is this organization? 2021. And one of the important things I'd like to specify my disgust is how there is nobody from the swamp locked up. And that just really hurts. And that's got, that's the difference between MAGA and Ultra MAGA. Ultra MAGA is like, there has to be swamp locked up. The game's got to stop. When Bondi or Jasmine Crockett asked for Elon Musk to be destroyed for her birthday, and Bondi comes out and says, "Oh, Crockett, you better watch out. You're treading on thin ice." I knew the game was over.
Yeah, I think that...
No, the time for warnings.
Yeah. I believe that it was known to us in our community probably, 30, 40 years ago, that there was a formula in place, and they would choose a politician, and who you want to call that could be up for some debate, but people with more power than political forefront, so they weren't visible to the general public. They would choose a politician based on a couple of things. Their vices, most of all. So you want some coke? Okay, they'd get you some coke. You want hookers? They get you hookers. You want to be a deviant? They'll help you out.
And that's part of elite capture.
Right. Yeah, and what they would do is once you do it long enough, you have control of that person, and then you can kind of maneuver their actions based on the goals that you want to be met. And I think you're right that we can kind of see that's where we're at right now. They've basically gotten the dirt on everybody from the military to the private sector to the tech mafia to general
CIA.
people, the CIA. Yeah, they've got everything. And so now they're just the puppet masters. Even though the strings are a little bit tied up and tangled together, they're working the strings.
Yeah. Well, Tim Burchett out of Tennessee explained it,
Yeah.
That almost all of Washington is either bribed, blackmailed, or both.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
And I think, I'll be honest, I think Trump, I think he's sitting back and he's wondering where the hell is Ultra MAGA? Where the hell is MAGA coming to the front? Because obviously, when are they going to get the message that he can't do what needs to be done?
Yeah, I think that,
and I think he's sitting back. He's like, where the hell are you?
They've definitely seen a lot of change in political basing this year. I think 2025 was hopes and dreams that were shattered by the American people. Those dreams that were shattered was justice actually coming through? Would we see justice for them like justice for me? And I think that some of that dream was shattered, and now we're at that realization period where the American people are going to start getting a little bit angry. And we all know what happens when the American people get angry. It's usually not good.
I think a little angry is probably past or a little understating it. I think there's people that are just absolutely bursting at the seams, seething, and just really, it's a powder keg. I'm not necessarily part of it, but I'm closely observant of it.
Yeah, right.
And one other little thing that I'd like all your listeners to know, just real quick, sure. An interesting bit about Mitch McConnell that very few people know.
Okay.
His wife's Chinese, right?
Yep.
She worked in 3 presidential administrations, including Trump's first.
Right.
She's one of 6 Chinese sisters who owns the largest shipping corporation out of China called Foremost Group. And McConnell's sister-in-law, the one Chinese sister who was CEO of Foremost Group 1 year and 11 months ago, drowned in her Tesla on her billionaire husband's ranch in Texas.
I remember that. Yeah.
That was exactly 1 month after her husband withdrew investment in China, and 1 month before that ship hit the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Maryland.
Yeah, the now, pieces are all together, that's for sure.
Furthermore interesting, and I'll close on this, she also was married to another American billionaire 9 years earlier who died in New York at the age of 61 from a heart attack. 9 months after they got married.
Isn't that interesting?
It is. You can't make a movie on this.
No, that's the thing too. I think we are living through their movie. No consequences on their end. All money gains. Oh, well, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much for that call in and talking about it with us, guys. I went ahead and opened the lines back up. Go ahead and give me a call as soon as you get a chance to. Until we get a call. Oh, we've got one coming in here now. Hey, you're on the air. Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Hey, Brad. How are you?
I'm doing real good. What part of the country are you calling in from?
Southwest.
Southwest. Nice.
I don't want to get New Mexico.
Yeah, nice. Okay, that's a good area there. You get a little bit of drier air than we get in the Appalachian South here.
Oh yeah, definitely drier. Well, we're in wildfire country, obviously.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got to watch out for that.
Yeah, that's our big concern. Hey, first of all, before I go any further, I appreciate what you do every day, man.
Oh, thanks.
Just want you to, yeah. My wife and I joke. I'm like, oh God, here comes the fear porn. But no, we do. I really do appreciate what you do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And, that's okay too. Anytime anyone has ever said, all you want to talk about is doom, and I tell them, no, I just want to know. I want to know about it. I want to know it exists. I want to know what's going on. I don't want to dwell on it. I just want to know so that I can make a good decision.
Yeah, but no, I just was, it's waking people up to the AI, and I mean, I imagine you probably see or follow Bear Independent, but I mean, he jokes about what is it? Terminator 2 was the documentary.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we're definitely on the way to Skynet right here. It's funny because I was just watching some. There's two different worlds, right? There's a world in which the tech mafia or the tech gurus all want to boast about how cool the things are that they're doing. And then there's that other world where you and I look at it and we're like, hold on, I'm not so sure that's a good idea. And I was just watching them put together some of the things that they are doing and some of the filtering processes that they have. And let me tell you, it's 10 times as concerning as what we knew a year ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you're 100% right. Yeah, I mean, it's things we didn't even think of. And I mean, there's a group of people that are just trying to think of how can we use this to manipulate or
to our
advantage to make money. And I mean, even drones, it's like you think of when they first came out, it's like, oh man, these could be used for so many useful things. But it's like, nope, let's turn it into weaponry. It's always to destroy, not to build up.
I think that, what have they made? My brother asks me this often. He says, what have they done that has made our life better? And that's a good question. What have they done that has made our life better?
Yeah, I mean, we hear about drones bombing and all this type of stuff, but I mean, we do search and rescue. We're pretty remote. We're very squared away. I saw the writing on the wall years ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, we do search and rescue, work for the volunteer fire department.
That's awesome.
We could be using this technology to benefit rather, but it's, let's start another war, what have you. And man, I could talk to you for hours. I'm going to let you go so you can get more people.
Oh, well, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, I really appreciate you, man.
No, thank you. I appreciate you calling in and working for the volunteer services there. That's really important. People don't give enough credit to volunteer search and rescue, volunteer fire, volunteer EMS. I mean, when you're in rural areas, that's who's going to come help you. It's not somebody else. So people really need to credit it.
That's no lie. It's right we're kind of towards the tail end of hunting season.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, you get to call it 9-10 o'clock at night. It's like,
yeah, who's going to get lost? Hunter. Yeah, who's going to do something? Okay, I've got a question for you. What would you say?
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to escape to the woods or try to evacuate in a long duration emergency. What is if you had to say one thing to those people who aren't used to getting out in the woods or who aren't used to every day carrying a self-defense tool, what would your number one prep to them be?
Boy, I don't know. Good luck. I mean,
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, nature, if nature doesn't get you, I mean, we got some serious local rednecks that just aren't going to tolerate anything. And it's like,
okay,
I mean,
keep your wits about you, I guess.
Yeah, don't overstep your bounds.
Okay.
And really generally up here, we're pretty polite.
Yeah.
And it's respect. It's respect mostly. And again, it's the fires. The fires are the big thing where we're at, and
okay.
that's a game changer. The wildfires can,
yeah.
1 minute you're okay, and next minute you better be on your game and evacuating.
And that's something people don't think about too. There's going to be purposeful fires that will be set in rural areas during an emergency. You'll have the people who are trying to move game, and so they'll set fires, and if they can't control a whole area, they'll set fires to those areas. We don't often step into the shoes of the people who will use the power that they gain or control during a grid down event or during a social disorder event. So you do have to watch out for that kind of thing. So I hope everybody watching, that people are going to do bad things. They're already doing them now. So I guess my best suggestion for them would be, if you're going to evacuate or if you're going to get in the woods, start practicing that today. Do you think that's a good idea?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, yeah, mostly it's just be polite, and if you want to try to survive that way, I mean, it's going to be, bartering is going to be a big thing. And really it's just have skills, have the skills.
Yeah.
Know how to take, you'd rather be a bird, or you'd rather be a, what's the word I'm looking for? An advantage, or I don't know what have something to offer rather than be, if you're a burden, I've got no use for you.
True. Okay. Good point.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're going to drag me down, you can go off on your own. But if you have something to offer, then we can talk.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Good point. Okay. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much.
All right. You take care.
Thanks. You too. Have a good night.
Bye.
Well, that's great, folks. I really do respect the emergency services, especially volunteer. You don't see a lot of them getting respect. You're on the air with Full Spectrum. How are you?
Hi, Brad. This is Toasted. I've got a lot of information to share with you, a short amount of time.
Okay, let it rip.
Okay, so according to, there is no gray areas on this.
Okay.
So the microceuticals in the water, nullify all the contracts that say that there's no drugs in your system. There's no gray area on that. I've been searching for it. I've used Gork, Gemini, Claude, and OpenAI to verify all this.
Okay.
And they're all coming thing. The nullification, the legal breach is under 41 United States Code 81, which requires federal contractors and universities defense firms, agencies to clarify that they provide a drug-free environment to reduce 18 United States Code 1001, which makes it a felony, false statements to the government. Basically, if you're sitting there drinking city tap water all day, you're hammering down pharmaceuticals. Even though they're micro and nano, it doesn't matter. There is no gray area. I've been searching for it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The EPA can't keep up with what's going on the market. It also violates United States Code 1341. I'm trying to go down the list here as fast as possible.
Sure,
but if you'd like more information on this, I'm on your Facebook group, Full Spectrum Survival. I'll try to reach out to you and show you more. But
nice. Okay.
I know there's other people on, and I appreciate your time. I appreciate everybody else's time. Thank you very much. This is Toasted Webs. Peace out.
Appreciate you. You have a good night tonight. Yeah, that's an important thing to think about, is what we're drinking and what the government does to it and what they fail to do to treat it. I think that for me, having a well is probably the best thing that you can do, but a lot of people can't. That's a huge luxury. You're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Brad, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great.
Yeah, it's Primitive Lifeways. We
hey, man. Hey, yeah.
Almost a month ago.
Yeah, nice to hear from you. I'm glad you called in.
Yeah, man. Hey, I've got a quick question for you. So
okay.
I've got a couple clients out here in the American Southwest that are talking about cryptocurrency.
Okay.
And they are swearing by investing in it. They said that that's going to create the next generation of millionaires. I have a tendency to think that the trades are going to do that, but I mean, I can't rule it out. I was wondering what your opinion is on investing into crypto, even a little bit of it. I think there's a company called XRT.
Yeah.
That he was saying, and there's like 8 different countries that are investing billions into the company.
I agree with that. And I also agree that crypto has the chance to make millionaires. But for me as a person, I've got some silver here in front of me. So for me as a person, I would rather put my money into this, because if I put enough money into this 2 years ago, I've already got money today. So I think when we talk about investing, I have a lot of people who ask me, and luckily I was able to get some land. I started off, when we first started our land search, guys, I was making like $1,000 a month. That's all I had to put towards land and housing and trying to get a better vehicle at the time. I really had nothing. And so, but even having nothing, I found people who would do for sale by owner, drew up a mortgage from me to them. I worked with that $1,000 a month I had. That asset of having that land gave me more peace of mind. And it wasn't necessarily an investment that I could make money off of in the future. So I think I have a lot of friends and family and people here in the YouTube community that ask me kind of what you're asking me. And that is, what about investment, or what about returns on your investment? And for me as a person, I would rather have a car paid off, maybe a rental. That's what I'm working on. If I could get a rental for somebody to rent in, like an Airbnb, where you're not having them as a long-term rental, you're just kind of turning it over. I want that kind of return on investment where I'm physically hands in. I do believe crypto is huge. I've seen people actually make millions with it. I've talked to people who have made millions with it, but it's still backed by nothing but confidence. And so when you have a product that's just only backed by confidence, then I have an issue with it personally, because I know how quickly confidence turns. What are your thoughts? When they're talking to you about it and kind of pitching it, what do you think about it?
Well, I don't know what to think about it, to be honest with you. I look at the stock market, and when Trump first got elected, my Uncle Robert and I, we were talking about, and you remember Uncle Robert.
Yeah.
So we were talking about investing into oil and gas stock, and we thought it was going to really take off and do a lot of good things, but it really didn't do much. I mean, it went up a little bit, then it went down a little bit, and up a little bit, and down a little bit.
Yeah.
I have a financial advisor, and she tells me, my tax lady who runs my S Corp, she tells me about AI stock. She says, invest in AI stock.
That's true. Yeah.
If you're going Yeah, if you're going to do anything with stock, that's the way to go. But the digital currency, I don't know. I saw an interesting story. I think it was on Discovery Channel where a guy he started investing into Bitcoin or mining Bitcoin years and years ago before it first took off. And he mined, I think it was 8,400 Bitcoins.
Oh, yeah,
and he had it on a hard drive. Yeah, I know, man. That's worth $1.2 billion now. He ended up storing it in a hard drive, and his girlfriend threw away the hard drive.
Couldn't imagine.
In a landfill, and he was trying to buy the entire landfill and went in front of the city council. So I know there's something to it.
Yeah.
I know it can get people pretty well set. I just don't know if I trust it. I trust gold and silver because it's physical. You can hold it. It's backed by physical assets, but I just don't know about the digital currency. I don't know if I have faith in it quite yet.
You know, digital currency to me is kind of like Pokemon cards. I'm not into Pokemon cards, but I understand the market of a Pokemon card. The rarity of it makes it worth a certain amount of money, but that amount of money it's worth is only as much money as someone is willing to pay for it. Because you can have an item that's so rare, it's worth $10 million, but if no one's willing to pay $10 million for that one rare card, it doesn't matter. It's worth less. And so that's kind of my take on crypto. Now, if I just had blow money where I was like, okay, I'm just going to take money and hope I get a return on my investment, and I'm just going to put it out there and try to make some gaming moves, then I would definitely get invested into crypto because I think you can make real money with it. But as far as its ability to hold me true when times get tough, I just don't have that. I'd rather find, with accounting, I'd rather find another way to, maybe make some asset purchases that you can make money off of in the future. Because the way this whole game is set up inside of the country, the game is set up so corruptly that the average person who isn't a millionaire already can't put money into something and then make a return on that investment, usually in less than 4 to 7 years. And that's a scam.
Yeah.
To say that I can't invest into something and I won't even get my money back for 4 to 7 years. That's one of the hugest scams in the world. So anything that I can touch today that returns my investment next month or 6 months or a year from now, that's a pretty solid move in my opinion.
Yeah, it sounds like a pyramid scheme, and you're around the same age I am. You remember those first generation Charizards.
Oh yeah.
And I'd love to have one of those.
and if you did, you'd be pretty well set. So obviously it's not a scam.
Yeah.
But as far as me making money from it, probably not.
Yeah.
And the devastation.
Well, hey, I appreciate your input, man. I'll let you get going, and good connecting with you.
Okay, I'm glad you called in. Tell Uncle Robert we said hey.
Will do. He's probably listening.
Okay, have a good night. What's the topic tonight? Well, the topic's kind of all over the place. We've got Somali takeover across the USA. We've got what Trump is doing and working towards. We've got some people calling in about the drugs that are left inside of our water system. Some discussions on crypto. We just heard from an individual at the Social Security office on one of the videos we were watching. So it's kind of all over the place. Just, that's the great thing about these viewer call-ins is we talk about what you want to talk about.
And we've been focused, and here we've been clear. If you're working for a designated...
Hey, you're on the air with Full Spectrum. How are you?
Hey, Brad. How's it going?
Doing real good. How about you?
I'm a little afraid to talk to you, actually, with Big Brother watching everything and looking at everything we do.
Well, here's what I figure on Big Brother, and maybe I'm naive to it or just oversensitized to it and so desensitized. I know that my camera and phone are on the spy device anyways, and Big Brother knows. So as long as I'm playing in my lane, if I'm not trying to play football on the basketball court, well, I'm doing okay.
You got it. Hey, I want you to know, after I do my little morning devotion every morning, you're the first YouTube I watch every morning, and I appreciate you keeping it to 10, 12 minutes.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad to be part of your morning routine. That's good. A good way to figure out what's going on in that day.
Yeah, it's like I was kind of forced to move where I'm at now in the middle of Missouri.
Okay.
But I tell you what, it turned out to be the best thing. I am 13 miles from the nearest gas station.
Awesome.
I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Was able to buy my place for cash, so
Nice.
I feel like I got that going for me.
Yeah, that's a huge opportunity that a lot of people don't get.
Oh yeah. So I'm just trying to, get myself self-sufficient here. I like your comments on quail raising.
Oh, nice. Okay. Now you've done quail before, or this is your first time, or what?
I am in the process of building my first cages, and I'm looking forward to getting into it as the winter rolls through.
Do you know what you're going to get yet? The bobs or the buttons or what?
I want the jumbos because I'm going for eggs and meat.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, we've done quail quite a few times. Quail is overlooked. I think a lot of people, especially if you live in an apartment, you should get into quail and just tell your apartment complex it's just a pet bird.
Definitely, yeah. It's, the fact that they mature in 8-9 weeks and boom, you're ready to go.
Right. Yeah, 100%. So what are your big plans for 2026? You said you're kind of getting situated, getting as sustainable as possible. You have anything big planned?
Yeah. Not really. I'm retired. I just got a lot. I mean, now that I'm retired, I got more work to do than I ever thought I would.
That's how it works.
Yeah. And everybody talks about water supplies, but I got a very nice spring-fed creek running out behind the house that's never gone dry in 7 years since I've been here.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's, I feel like, I'm sitting okay. I just, you can never do enough, though.
No, that's true. And, kind of my big plans for 2026 are to really just cement myself in certain positions that I have. So whether it is, spending as much time as possible downrange, spending time in the garden. We definitely want to do a bigger garden this year.
Yeah,
I don't
do that.
And how can you, the thing is, how can you do it? If you're not, here's the scam, in my opinion, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong, or guys in the chat, you tell me if you think I'm wrong. They have created almost like a hammer down on any nails that stick up. And so as soon as you want to grow your own food, well, now you're talking about how much can you reasonably grow. And if you've ever looked into how much it takes to actually feed you and your family, it's a ton of food, guys. It's a ton of acreage and work. So it's almost like you're either
a lot of work, exactly.
Yeah. Are you going to be a full-time gardener? And then what happens with all the other work that needs to be done? So for me, it's about finding this middle ground of how much can I do with investing the least amount of money, investing the least amount of my personal time, but get the most reward out of it.
I hear that. Well, I want to tell you, I'm expanding my carbon footprint. I've been burning a lot of wood.
Yeah, I think that's okay. Now in 2025, that became okay again.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me.
I appreciate you doom scrolling.
Oh, yeah. No problem. I was just going to say that it's so funny to me because while we are demonized here inside of the USA by our own friends and family and celebrities and politicians, all you have to do is look across the water to see China or India or the Middle East, where they literally have landfills that are nothing but garbage burning all day, every day. But they can't tax them for it.
It's so depressing that they're trying to brainwash us the way they are. I mean, honestly, I am so sick of the political climate, and I've been a political junkie since I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd get better as I got older, but oh my gosh, it's just getting worse every year.
I think that naturally we're going to move into the scary times soon, where the only people who are into politics are ones who are willing to be into it violently to defend their own position. There's no more discussion.
Yes, I agree.
So scary times there.
Yeah, and I don't know. I live in Trump country. Everybody around here is 90% of the people are Trump lovers, but and honestly, I'm a big supporter of him. I just wish things would move a little faster, and I know that there's lots of headwinds, but it's just not going fast enough for me. And at my age, like my mother jokes, at 88 years old, every time I turn around, it's Christmas.
Oh yeah,
it's just
Yeah, too old
right,
to be too old to be in the fight fully, and too young to want to be done with it.
That's a good description. Sir, I appreciate your time. You have a good evening.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate you making our family a part of your morning routine. Hope you have a good night and a good morning.
Every day, Brad. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we had a poll up here. I'm not going to make the live call-ins live yet. Our poll was, will immigration enforcement turn on Americans in 2026? 42% said yes, 58% said no. So here's what I mean by that. Will they use the tools in some way against Americans? I'm in the yes. I believe that yes, the tools that they are putting together for immigration enforcement will be used against Americans in 2026. I honestly believe that some of those tools are being used against Americans today. So I believe that if you're discussing things, texting, part of groups or organizations, remember, they just made anybody who has even a very loose affiliation with Antifa, you're also, by proxy, a potential national security threat. And so that means if on your Facebook group, there's maybe 2, maybe 3, who knows what the classification is. If there's 2 or 3 real whack jobs out there, real extremists, you're an extremist potential by proxy or affiliation. So that to me kind of is one of those enforcement tools that are going to be used against the American people or are already being used against the American people. All right, let's go ahead and open this back up, see if we can get another call in before we wrap up the show tonight. Let's see if we can get Pete Hexit to continue here.
Organization, and you bring drugs to this country in a boat, we will find you and we will sink you.
Hey, you're on the air with Full Spectrum Survival. How are you?
Hey, Brad. How's it going?
Doing real good.
I called in about like a month ago.
I recognize the voice.
I don't want to I don't want to hold a bunch of your time, but I thought what you had to say to a couple callers ago about financial assets and crypto and whatnot, about having something that you can actually hold, is like, at least that's 100% where my mind is at. Looking at how fragile everything is, sure, something like Bitcoin might be finite supply, but you're not gonna be able to use it if you don't have electricity, or like
you can't even prove it without electricity.
And also, it's gonna, and you're also not gonna have the ability to retrieve it from the exchange that you're probably housing it on if you lose power. So if anyone's doing crypto, I would say like definitely do something called like cold storage. You can like literally get it secured on a device that you personally own. As far as XRP goes, I bought some like a few $100 worth and just never touched it again when I was at 50 cents. It's at like a $2 or $3 now. I just don't know why we should, because the caller mentioned XRP. It's basically it's made to reduce settlement time and fees associated with settling cross-border transactions, which maybe makes sense if other entities want to move away from the SWIFT system.
Right.
But I don't really see why they wouldn't. Like, think about the people you're dealing with. Do you think the banking cartel is going to allow the lay public to get access to invest into a technology that's going to be integral for global finance in the future?
No.
They're just going to mimic it and then rip you off.
Yeah, they'll co-op it.
I would have to imagine.
And then be in their own system with it.
Yeah, I would have to guess. I mean, they've already spun off a few other technologies, like one's called XDC. It actually has faster settlement times, lower transaction fees. You can't get it on Coinbase.
Okay.
You can still buy it, but it's like, I'm sure they're probably going to just, I feel like what you were saying about having something that's tangible, that you can actually hold and use and has a long track record of use, that's probably something to trust more. And if you want to look at mining stocks, I think that is something that's performed really well. Like I have a few junior mining stocks that are up almost, 8 times, almost 10 times
That's
over
awesome.
the past year and a half.
Yeah, that's great. Now, what about
and
claims? Have you ever looked into claims?
No, I heard, I had some buddies try to introduce me to that.
Okay.
I had no idea what I'm doing, so I'm kind of afraid of that. I just buy the equities. But have you had any exposure to claims and whatnot?
A little bit, and it can be profitable. So buying claims, for anybody who doesn't know, you're basically purchasing the mineral rights to a position. You're not purchasing the land. You're like purchasing the ability for that land to be mined. So for a very long time, while the United States of America was very anti-mining, very anti-asset control, America wanted all of our everything from another country. That was part of our great sellout. And now with Trump kind of turning things around here, the American land that has the potential to be mined became worth money. So the mining claim that you're buying would basically be a record for buying and selling. You would hold it until you sell it. And you're just making good educated guesses on, what is prospectively underneath that claiming right, what can be claimed, its likelihood of being claimed, and then moving it along if you're not going to do the actual, claim yourself.
Yeah, that's definitely something I would be interested in exploring. I think I would like to get some land and maybe homestead on my own first. But I think that seems like it's a genius. Seems like it's a genius thing to start thinking about, because we're going to need to start onshoring mining, not just manufacturing, but mining physical. There's really not many. There's not many precious metals mines in the United States compared to the rest of the world.
No.
Almost all of it comes from. Almost all of the silver, for instance, that's mined comes from Mexico.
Yeah, South America. Yeah,
and obviously, what's her name? She's got actually a Jewish surname, even though she's the president of Mexico. I forget her name.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But she's I can't recall. But she actually is in favor of basically nationalizing mines.
Right.
Subtly, that's like something I think that she's probably holding up her sleeve. So if we keep upsetting people with tariffs, and we have an adversary that's kind of socialist minded, I wouldn't be surprised if we need to look at our own home soil to start getting these metals out of the ground. So what I think is actually going to happen with that seems like a great idea.
My kind of general belief system is that the reason they want to not drill for oil here, the reason they don't want to mine for lithium here, the reason they don't want to ruin our resources, I believe, even in my own head, I'm like, geez, that sounds kind of conspiratorial without proof. But even in my own head, I'm like, they want to hold on to all of this and deplete the rest of the world so that America can be the last one with it.
I think that's a fantastic point. I mean, you got to think about places like Niger, right? Niger or whatever.
Yeah.
And all those African countries in the Sahel that had those revolutions recently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the huge reason they state about why they threw off the French yoke was like, listen, they formally ended colonization like decades ago, but they were just taking all of the profits and production of our uranium mines and everything else, and they were taking the profits in Paris. And what's Europe? They're just a vassal to the U.S.
Right,
so,
of course.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely seems to be the mechanism that's going on, and it seems like maybe the rest of the world is starting to say, we've kind of had enough of giving you America our commodities for cheap.
Yeah.
And you just give us dollars.
Yeah, I think they sold us out both ways. They would we were buying it dirt cheap from all these other countries, but then retail inflation, manufacturing inflation, really corrupt capitalism allowed them to charge you, the person, a lot. That's why it was like, you know the deal. You're buying something that literally costs, like a t-shirt, as an example. That t-shirt literally costs pennies to make just by cotton.
Yeah.
And you're buying it for $18. So we fully accepted that we were getting railed by corrupt capitalism instead of saying, okay, let's do this in a good way. And then when they couldn't rail you anymore, then they were like, oh, well, we'll try to get inflation under control, or we got to go take this oil from over here, or maybe there's another virus we need to watch out for over here. It was just another smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, and it seems like they got a few smoke and mirror shows set up with with the whole immigration thing at home, then and then Venezuela. It seems like there are several things that are teed up. Venezuela, the homegrown immigration, obviously the wars in the background in Ukraine and the Middle East.
Right.
So I'm curious what you think would be the most likely culprit for a triggering event for something to really begin accelerating.
I was real caught off guard by how quick the shift from South American immigration enforcement to Somali and Afghan immigration enforcement went. That was a blink of an eye. And all it took was one pre-made CIA affiliated person to do it. And then it was a blink of the eye, and they're like, oh, let's point the gun over here. And that's what I guess my biggest trigger scare is. When does that scope start looking at other people that have no immigration problems? Because
I think you mentioned that at the beginning, but look at Palantir and look at all of these companies. Yeah. They are not the thing several months ago, almost a year ago, right, where they got contracted. Palantir got contracted to make a database for American citizens. It's like, look what's happening in the UK with the digital ID.
Yeah.
As you know, they're saying, well, it'll help crack down on illegal immigration.
Right.
And then it's like
that's
everybody has to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they actually care about enforcing that. So it's already, I think you're totally right to say at the beginning that it's already being done. There are already every single tool that's being used to address a problem people are actually upset with is actually just kind of reaming you and at the same time. It's,
one of the big scams I plan to talk about tomorrow is the fact that they just rolled out that every new child born next year is going to get a Social Security linked investment amount, which makes you a commodity of the USA. You're a part of this economy, and if you go against the USA, now you're a threat to the US economy. And so that's a big one for me. And the other one is the Palantir CEO. He was caught on video saying that everyone should both be a good guy and a bad guy. And he said the bad guys, the host asked him, well, what's your bad guy approach? He said, well, I'll use drones to drop fentanyl on all of my enemies. And I'm like, okay, so this is the guy we have pairing up with the government to safely secure our American populace, saying that he will drop fentanyl through drones on his political enemies inside the USA. Kind of blew my mind.
Yeah, no, that's insane. Well, it shouldn't be. That's actually not insane. That guy, you could just tell from his whole entire life.
Oh yeah, he had too much Tylenol as a child.
Machiavellian attitude.
Yeah. No, his parents were feeding him Tylenol like it was Kool-Aid.
It's kind of funny. Did you know that he's actually half black? I'm not even kidding.
No, I did not.
I would have never guessed that.
No.
And it was so funny because he did an interview and he's like, I've spent most of my life with people not knowing like whether I'm black or white. The white people shunned me because I was black, and the black people shunned me because I was white. And I'm like, dude, I've looked at this guy. I never would have thought he was half black.
Okay, now
his mom.
Hold on.
Sorry, that's a hilarious thing. But
is he half darker skin, kind of like that the lady who's a Native American, but the politician Pocahontas?
yeah. Like that's. I don't even. It's legit though. His mom is.
Mother is an African American artist. Interesting.
But I'm like, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. That's not really like pertinent to anything. I just thought it was kind of humorous, considering he's like, people have always never accepted me for who I am. White people never accepted me. I'm like, dude, you look as white as the driven snow.
Yeah, right.
He does the stupid Einstein hairdo thing where he tries to like look smart with his frizzy hair. But I'm like,
he's the chalkboard.
Like, no way
he's the chalk, not the chalkboard.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's just it's embarrassing, that guy. The one thing I would say would be maybe worth checking out, but you might have seen it before. It's an old document. It's from the year 2001, and it's called. I just remember it's called the NASA Warfare Document, and it's Future and Strategic Issues circa 2025.
Okay.
Future and Strategic Warfare Issues circa 2025. And it's like it comes from a man, I could get his name. I forget. Just calling out the top of my head, but he worked at Langley, NASA. So he interfaced a lot with the CIA, and in the credits of the PowerPoint slides, he cites some people from from Langley.
Okay.
But one of the things he mentions is smart dust. He mentions a lot of really interesting things. First of all, he even mentions Zoom classes, like virtual schooling.
And this was written
And he
when?
says it's going to be incredibly disruptive. 2001. And he's like, it's going to be incredibly disruptive. You'll be able to take Ivy League courses online.
Okay.
There'll be a bifurcation. Universities will go out of business en masse. But he also has a lot about drone warfare and smart mines and biometric information, nanotechnology and food, using plants and insects and whatnot as sensors.
Interesting. Okay.
And also, there's like a lot of, I mean, probably about at least half of it, from what I could tell, has already come true by 2025. But one of the things was smart dust, which could be sprayed. He says it could be sprayed in the atmosphere, and it would basically serve to track the location of those who inhale it.
Funny. Yeah, I have seen
Like
China kind of do some things like that too.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I've seen China has made nano particulate basically like RFID. And so the RFID would be sprayed on people, and it would track you. You enter a store and it tracks you through the store.
What the?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's yeah. You're not gonna have. There's what happened to informed consent, or
oh yeah, it's gone.
Is that like within the fine print of when you walk into Walmart? It's going to be like, oh, you will be sprayed with nanoparticles
yeah,
and
right.
be tracked as you go home.
Yeah.
Like, how are we? That's insane.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
man,
but that document, I think you would get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up after we wrap this up. It'll be a good thing to read, maybe even to see kind of what hasn't happened yet, but we expect to.
Yeah, you would get a lot more out of it than I would. I think you obviously know a lot more. But anyways, Brad, it was thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, and yeah. Take care, man. Keep stacking silver.
Okay, I sure will. You too.
And, yeah, I'll see you.
And get that homestead. Well, guys, thank you so much for all of the call-ins. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here at an hour. We really had a lot of great things to talk about. Watch out for this CME that's coming. It'll be coming in 2 days. We should expect some maybe Aurora information from it. Might even see them a little bit further down south in the USA. If this marks the third time in a 12-month period that I will have seen the northern lights at the southern end of the Appalachian Trail, I'll know something crazy is going on. Well, guys, thank you so much for being a great community. We're nothing without you here. You're part of the Full Spectrum Survival family. You're the reason that we do this. We don't pay editors. I don't pay a thumbnail developer. I don't pay some Filipino to doom scroll. It's all in-house. Your support supports me, my wife, and our oldest son. We doom scroll so that you guys don't have to. So thank you guys for being here with us. It's a great live show. Lots of good call-ins. And I hope that you have a great week coming up. Make some good moves if you have the ability to. Maybe look into some first aid training. If you have something that's kind of been in the back of your head as something you need to do, get to the range if you can. Hunt, fish, whatever it takes. We have to get ready for this changing world. Thank you guys for being here with us. Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube. From my family to yours, please stay safe